Well, hey guys, welcome to John PayCheck Week here on the Boston Chris podcast. We are so excited to get to chat with the one and only John PayCheck, son of Johnny PayCheck, but so much more than just the son of Johnny PayCheck. What an incredible story we have in store for y'all today. But before we get into all of that, I have homework. As usual, you guys have to go ahead and click that like button wherever you're watching. And of course, if you want to see more in-depth, candid conversations with people from all walks of entertainment and music, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button completely for free. And comment down below your favorite part of this episode. Do that, please? Cool. Thank you. Let me tell you a little bit about John PayCheck. John PayCheck, as I mentioned, is the son of country music legend Johnny PayCheck, and he embodies tradition while forging his own path in the music industry. He grew up surrounded by legends with music ingrained in his everyday life. But John's musical journey began humbly as a roadie, where he learned about the business while traveling with his father. Two major events diverted him from music temporarily. His father's passing in 2003 led him to explore other passions in firefighting and technology, and the events of 9/11 spurred him to serve his country as an Army aviator. John still serves today as a reserve Army officer in Europe. Despite his hiatus, music remained a constant thread in his life, drawing him back after 20 years. And now, he's essentially a full-time touring musician, touring all over the country and the world. And we are so stoked to have John here on the show today to chat about all of this and much, much more. What a great conversation with a great human being and a patriot here on the Boston Chris podcast. So stoked to get into it with John PayCheck, capital C. Let's get into it.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hi, I'm Cliff Doyle. Thanks for tuning in to Boston Chris podcast.
It is what it is.
But anyway, it's good to see you, man.
Cool,
You look
man.
so
Nice
much
seeing
better
you.
today.
Yeah, and we're not stuttering.
No.
I got my Starlink.
Oh, man, it was great. Guys, we have John
Sorry
PayCheck
about
with
that.
us today. We're so happy to have him. This has been a journey trying to get this interview to actually happen. We started doing it a week ago. We were scheduled once before when he had a gig in East Texas that got canceled, so we rescheduled this for further down the road. But this has been a 6-month process to try to make this happen, and it's here, and we're doing it. And John, thank you so much for your time today, man.
No, man, thank you for having me. I'm just glad. It's probably the longest interview you've had.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think we're going on, a week and a day now.
Yeah, man.
And then I think my calendar has been messed up. I think I had it on the wrong time zone or something. Apparently, there's something called coordinated date time that I did not know about.
Yeah. It'll change dates for or the time for the time zone and stuff. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I don't like it. It was messing things up. And so when Jason, your person, said he's already waiting, and we weren't due for another hour, I was like, uh-oh.
Sorry.
So it's all good, man. So I got dressed really quick. My wife was like, what's going on? And where's the fire? But yeah, man, we're stoked to have you here. I've tried to forget about the 20 minutes we talked or tried to talk last week just so we can start fresh. So we'll start with the icebreaker. What are your favorite drinks right now, man?
Well, my favorite non-alcoholic thing is coffee, period. I drink coffee all the time, which is probably not great for me, right? But old habits die hard. And then, honestly, I like the Corona, the light Corona, and the light Modelo's. And it's just, I'm trying to lose a little bit of this tummy.
Yeah. Good luck, man. Good luck. That gets harder the older you get, too, man. Like, you think you're doing well, and then you look down, and it's still there, and it's like, man.
Yep.
Because
I
then,
don't know.
like,
I've been doing pretty good, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah, it's definitely a process, man.
I also like schnitzel and brisket and everything else. So
Very cool. I love your music. I'm glad you're here. So stoked to finally actually pick your brain a little bit about who you are and how you got to be where you are.
Yep.
We have a little growing up segment. I understand, obviously, from being a legacy kid in the business, that you probably grew up around the Nashville area, right?
Yeah, no, I did. I was born in Nashville and there at Baptist Hospital, and yeah, I was in and out of Nashville all the time. Lived there part of my life, and yeah, Dad moved around a lot,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I've seen going from really like an '80s kid to now, the changes in Nashville are substantial and
Oh, I,
just
I imagine.
crazy.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about that term, legacy kid?
I've adapted to it. Or adopted, I should say. I
Yeah.
guess. It's fine.
I think it's more respectful than Nepo baby, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the nepo baby thing is just kind of
That's ridiculous. Yeah. I
it's
don't-
meant to be act like you've been given things.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that not all legacy kids are created equal. We're all different. Some of us are offered more opportunities than others, and some of us grew up with more money than others.
I
Whatever.
personally think it's harder for
Yeah.
y'all. That's my opinion.
It is. It
Yeah.
is 100%. See, that's maybe it is.
Yeah.
With my dad and how he was, and he took the outlaw persona on as his real life.
Yeah.
That did make things a little hard for me. I've been told places they didn't want to book me because they thought I was going to be, I may not show up, or I might be
Yeah.
wild and drunk or whatever. And my agent has done really well with sending out videos and things, going, no, this is what you're getting. It's a country western act mainly.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, yeah, I've got a legacy that I have to live up to a degree, but I'm not filling anybody's shoes because
I mean, that's impossible.
you can't
Yeah.
fill his shoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just doing what
Yeah.
I can. And
Like I said, man, I just think a lot of people think, oh yeah, the kids of stars have it easy because they have that name, they have those opportunities, and I disagree. I think it's more difficult because you're in that shadow, and as a creative being, you want to be your own person creatively, and having that shadow above you makes it very difficult to kind of get out of that and formulate your own path. And in that aspect, artistically, I think it can be a lot more difficult, right?
it is. They also they expect a certain thing out of you.
Sure.
Different critics and fans sometimes. I think there's enough distance between me and Dad because I didn't go into this right away, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's enough distance and time that people view me a little more than they view me as the son of Johnny PayCheck.
Sure.
I'll always be Johnny PayCheck's son. I mean, that's my dad.
Yeah.
But as far as the music, my music's very different. It's more 90s, 80s feel. It's very Western, and I do Texas swing songs,
Yeah.
things like that. Dad was, he was an outlaw artist, but people got to remember that outlaw period was only this long and only
Yeah, it
this
wasn't
much.
very.
Of his
Yeah,
life.
it wasn't big at all.
Yeah, and he had an extensive catalog with Little Darlin'. He had, kind of a country soul singer, country crooner, maybe a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there was a lot to who he was as an artist, and that is where I am more about the artistry as well as what Dad was, and a little bit less about the caricature.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, and when people compare me, it's very.
It doesn't work. In this
No.
case, it does not work that well because like
No.
all you got to do is listen to your music, your stuff that you've put out, and it's very difficult to pick out Johnny PayCheck from that, right? Like it's
Right.
really hard. It's just like normal outlaw vibes that you would get from any person that was influenced by Outlaw Country.
Yeah.
And having that so close to you growing up, you'd think it would be more present. Why isn't it more present? Is it because the influences were just flowing from a different area, like you said, George Strait, and then that 80s, 90s vibe?
I am a different era of person.
Yeah,
Right? And I grew up around all of that. So, yeah, there was a little bit of me growing up to decide I want to be my own person. I don't want
Sure.
to be I don't want to be a copy of my dad. But the way I things is different than the way my dad heard things, right?
Yeah.
And that's just part of the artist inside of me compared to the artist inside of him. Are there things that I pick up from dad? Sure, 100%. There are some phrasings every once in a while I do, and I'm like, holy crap, that's dad. And people, when they see the show live, I'm always surprised by how many people come up and they're like, oh, you sound just like your dad. And I don't know if I hear it, but they do, and that's fine.
I think
So,
we all do that, even
yeah.
outside of music. I think there's times where we'll have those moments where we're like, "Oh my gosh, my dad or my mom just came out in what I just said." Right? Like,
Right.
I think that's a thing for all of us. I find this very interesting because let me ask you this: your dad is obviously a very busy musician at the time, right? Like growing up,
Yeah.
I imagine he's probably not home very often.
Right.
Do you think that's really shaping your influences too, being around more your mom than your dad at that period in time?
Well, I would say that mom influenced the fact that it broadened my scope on music more because dad was very much, a country musician, and
Yeah.
when he did listen to music, it was country music, things like that. Um, dad didn't listen to music a lot, but when he did, that's what he listened to. My mom was very in tune with all types of music, and she was just a music fan, really, right? A cellist in her own right. She
Wow.
was able, she played cello. But yeah, so I mean, the influences I have are kind of all across the board. And then when I was a kid, it was always trying to, rebel against the parents. So I was in a cover band that played Megadeth and Metallica and
That's
Slayer
amazing.
and all that kind of stuff. I played guitar, and that I liked that stuff growing up because angry young man with a bunch of testosterone. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I have a lot of influence in other areas that affect the way I write music. I'll hear that every once in a while when I go in the studio. My producer Bill McDermott will kind of look at me and go, "Okay, well, this is not a traditional country chord progression. Are you sure you want to use this?" I'm
Right.
like, "Yeah, I want to use that because that's what I hear and I think it would be kind of cool." And then the session guys come in and they're like, "Well, this is interesting. It'll be a fun day." So
Yeah. I love that. So growing up, let me ask you this question: getting into that metal hard rock scene, how
Yeah.
much of that is your own likes, and how much is that is actually rebelling against dad?
Oh no, it's my own likes. I mean,
Okay,
it's
good.
not really like it's just that young man phase of life, right, where you
Yeah.
kind of don't want to be what your parents were.
Right.
But no, I mean, I grew up in like I said, the '80s and '90s, and hair metal, heavy metal.
Sure.
When I first heard Megadeth, and like Slayer, I was fascinated at just thrash metal and how it was. I liked that. I liked, geez, man, when Trent Reznor came around, Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And that was that whole industrial field because it was kind of starting to search for something different.
Yep.
And that was the something different that came.
For me, it was Rat. Just so we're clear, for
Rat
me,
was cool.
Yeah, yeah. For me,
Round
in
and
those
Round.
days, it was Rat. Like I had every single record, every cassette, man,
Heck yeah,
of
man.
Rat, and like, I liked Poison and Dokken and like that
Yep.
whole scene, right? And my
Yep.
aunt got me into that. My dad was heavily into classic country. My mom was kind of there too, but my mom's sister was into that heavy metal, like Rat, glam rock, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, scene. And I really dug that stuff, and I knew my parents didn't, so it was like, hey, like I just to this day, I'm almost 50 years old. I still get a chuckle out of thinking about my mom going to a Kmart asking for a Rat cassette, right? Like, just makes me so happy to know that she had to do that at some portion of time.
I love it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
But no, I mean, yeah, all that kind of music, it definitely has built upon how I am and what I do. But I mean, you're not gonna hear metal influences in when I write. But it's I don't know. I have an appreciation for.
Has it
for
helped
all
you as a
artists.
musician at that period of your life?
Sure. Oh yeah. It helps because one, I was learning how to play guitar. I was like really play guitar. I was learning how to create songs. And it's again, the more you can ingest, I think musically, the broader your scope will be when it comes to writing,
Mhm.
and lyrically as well. Because I mean, there are especially within the folk scene too. There's some deep songs out there,
Yeah.
right? That aren't just country. That said, I mean, I like writing country songs. I like country music, and
Yeah.
what I consider traditional or real country music. That it's I don't know if it's ingrained in me because of like my dad or what, but it's definitely in there, and that's what I hear and have to get out.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of transitioned from that cover band heavy metal era of your life, but at some point in time, you end up going on the road with your dad, becoming a roadie, and really hanging out with him and learning the business from the business side of things, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that period of your life and kind of the things you picked up from that you still apply
Sure.
today.
Yeah, no. When I was in high school, that was still getting influenced to do things after school, playing
Yeah.
in bands and all that kind of stuff. And I was a band nerd too, marching band and stuff. But when I was on the road during the summer with Dad, I started out as a roadie. Was just lifting heavy things, putting them here, putting them over there, and learning. And he started me out that way because he was like, "Well, you got to start somewhere, and you have to start usually at the bottom." So I was like, "All right, well, whatever Dad wants, that's what I'll do." And it helped me the whole way through up until I left in about 1999, 2001, right in there. And Dad his health was starting to fail at that time. But those years were great because I got to work side by side with my dad. I got to learn, I got to be with, great musicians and travel and see how productions work, see how, how to set up a stage, how to treat your fans, how to, be, that star, but really, don't take it too seriously. These are people that have paid money to come see you. You need to give them everything you possibly can. And then on top of that, when the show's over, it's not over. You need to
Yep.
stick around and say hi and, thank them for helping you do what you do. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I learned from my dad.
Are you learning
And,
what not to do during that time too?
Well, I learned what not to do from pre-prison, Johnny PayCheck. Yeah,
Gotcha.
before he went, the things now that's early childhood, and I learned a lot of what I don't want to be. I don't do drugs, never have, and I get it. Drugs are social again, and there's a lot of that going on. But I don't have any in my band. There's a no drug policy that includes pot, everything
Is that
else.
from Dad? Like that's I don't want to say in spite of, but because of
Yes,
the things your dad went through with drugs, that's because of that, right?
that stuff ruined our family at
I'm
times.
so
Right?
interested in this because when I was a kid, my grandmother was an alcoholic. My dad
Okay.
was borderline. My mom was borderline. And I always feel like, and this comes up on the show a lot, so I'm really happy you kind of brought this up.
Sure.
I feel like there's one of two ways we can go, right? We can be weak and just fall in line and do the same thing that the people before us are doing. And that's the same addictions, the same way that they treat people, all of that. Or we can understand that that's the wrong way of going about it and break the cycle, right? And
Right.
and I mean, what you're talking about is breaking that cycle, essentially, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and my mom was wild too. So, I had two parents like that. And things weren't always easy, but, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, what I learned was, I saw how that affected the family. I knew what I wanted out of a parent, and seeing other kids and realizing at some point, hey, my household isn't normal and whatever normal is. But yeah, I realized that, I don't want to go down that path and I
Yeah.
don't have to.
Right.
So
That's a strength. You know that, right? Like that is a strength.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I decided I didn't want to do that. And
It's very
and I
hard to do that because I mean, generational traditions are really, really difficult to break
Yeah.
because that's what we see when we're formulating and being impressionable and all that as children. That's what we see, and what we see is what is okay. It's what is accepted. So
Yeah.
once we figure out that that's not okay, that shouldn't be accepted, and it's not the norm, it's very difficult to break that, whatever it is. So
Yeah, no.
it's a very strong thing to do, I feel.
Yeah, and if we talk about alcohol, well, I mean, was in the Army.
Yeah.
The military is a drinking culture.
Sure.
You know, it really is.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I was a firefighter. That's another drinking culture.
Mhm.
Well, why do we all drink? A lot of times, it's to socialize and be part of the team and all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes it's to try to drown a lot of what we've got in our heads after.
And it's
those
so
jobs are
highly
hard.
pressurized too. Like
Yeah.
you're going from music business to firefighting to military. That's all highly pressurized industries.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but yeah, you know, I made a decision there that, you know, and I'm not going to say I'm innocent. I mean, yeah, I've
Yeah.
had my share of bouts with alcohol
Sure.
and depression and everything else. But yeah, I never went the drugs route, and I never really used alcohol as a crutch.
Yeah.
I would go out and tie one on and get crazy with everybody, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't know. There was always a level of moderation to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
I
a
think-
lot of it stems from watching everything it did to my house. When I
Yeah,
was a
and I
kid.
think we can learn how to separate ourselves from the one-off or between the one-off and the full-on, you know, full-blown addiction, right? Like I'm able to do that as well. Like I don't like
Right.
drinking. It's not something I enjoy all that much. But like yesterday, I went out to dinner with my family. I had a draft beer. You know, I had one and I'm done, and water the rest of the way. I enjoy a good beer every once in a while, but I also know that I have that, you know, generational thing. I call it a generational curse, but really that's probably not the right word for it. But
Oddly enough, my dad was, and he was an alcoholic. He admitted to it, and once he corrected it, he never drank again.
Mhm.
He never did drugs again. He didn't smoke. He quit everything.
yeah,
He had an addictive personality.
sure,
Right.
yeah,
So yeah, it was never a fear of mine that I would have addictive personality. I don't. I
I
mean,
think you
can-
probably look for it though, right? Even now, you probably wonder every once in a while, just
No,
because
so
that's
that-
where your dad was.
No, not really, because
Really?
I mean, I'm old enough now where it's like, no, I've you know, been around alcohol and drugs and everything. I've been around, well, in high school even. I was around kids who were doing drugs, and I would go out with them and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like, nah, it's in the room. I don't want it. It's fine. I'll make sure you guys are okay. How about that?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just I never had, and I'm lucky. I'm blessed I didn't have that, right?
yeah.
But I don't know. It's just this is maybe my addiction. Honestly, is, you know, challenges, because every career and
I could
everything
see
I've
that,
done,
man. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm always on to what is the next. Okay, once I reach the goal, I'm
The
like, okay,
hard
I'm doing
thing.
that. What's the next thing I'm going to do?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's ever going to go away. I'm sure.
Man, I'll tell you, yeah, I look at
It wears the hell out of my wife, but yeah.
I see your life, and you're always choosing the hard thing, man. I love
Yeah.
that, though. That's a good thing, I think. Let me ask you this: like, you do end up, and I do want to talk about how initially, you know, you decided not to get into music, but eventually you do get into music, and you decide to, in a way, follow your dad's footsteps. You are sort of in the same genre, country music. It's
yeah.
a different brand or style of country, sure, but at that point you can decide when you're starting out what you are to be called, and you do choose the John PayCheck. So I imagine there's a level of honoring your dad's legacy, but at the same time you want to be separate from that and create your own path. So was there a tough decision at this time and what you were going to be called?
Well, my legal name is Paycheck, right?
Okay.
Dad legally got his name changed in the late '60s, and that is my legal name. It's on my military. It's me,
Okay.
and my birth certificate. And then my full first name is Jonathan.
Right.
But it's John. Everybody calls me John.
Right.
So, you know, I had debated. I was like, well, it's so close to Dad's name. I was like, man, first off, that's going to be a headache. You know, just in the business period.
Just in
And then,
searchability. Yeah. Just yeah.
It doesn't do me any favors
Sure.
because Dad's stuff usually comes up first.
Right.
It always does. And I'm like, what a pain, you know? So, but then there's a piece of me that is, okay, if I don't, am I dishonoring my family?
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
I don't want to dishonor and disrespect my family by not using my family name. I get it. In artistry, we're allowed to use pseudonyms and everything else. I
Yeah.
understand that. But I'm not, I was, you know, come up in the, like I said, fire service and military, and and all this kind of stuff. And there's codes of ethics and honors and values that we follow, and it just felt wrong to me. And if it feels wrong, I probably shouldn't do it.
Yep.
So
Great.
here we are. I'm John PayCheck. Nice to meet you.
I love that, man, because everything makes sense to change it artistically, brand-wise, business-wise. Artistically, just creating your own music and wanting not to be lumped in with what came before. All of it makes sense to change into that pseudonym. So I was curious about that, and I know some.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not gaining a bunch of followers. I'm not gaining streams. I'm not getting anything by having a similar name, having a family name.
I think it hurts you. I think it hurts you.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot of good.
No.
In fact, in many cases, and I think I mentioned this, there was, I've had venues that don't want, they're worried about it, right?
Yeah.
So, some people might think, oh, well, you're riding the coattails or something. And I'm like, well,
it definitely makes you harder to find on the internet.
If you go and listen to my music, expecting to hear Dad's stuff, you're probably going to skip my stuff and go find Dad.
Yeah,
So,
it's not the same thing.
We're very different.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah, I was just curious about that. If there was a process when you started out, whether you really gave it a lot of thought. I figured you did, knowing kind of how your history has gone. Let's talk a little bit about the things that did kind of divert you from music initially. I understand the two events was the obvious passing of your dad that probably really set you down from music for a little while. I know it would for me. If my dad was an artist and he passed away, I would want nothing to do with the business he was in for a little while. But really the big event was 9/11 that kind of pushed you in a different direction. Talk about kind of the hiatus from music and why those things became more important, obviously, than music.
Well, again, I wanted to kind of cut my own path and do me, and not be the son of Johnny PayCheck, and be John PayCheck, who is his own person, his own man, right? And that's important to us in life and culture and everything else, right? Being your own man. So when 9/11 happened, I had thought a long time about joining the military anyway, and it was kind of like it was this catalyst calling moment where I was like, okay, this is what I need to do, but I needed to line some things up, and I was already in IT. I was working for IBM and doing all that stuff, and I wasn't happy with that anyway. So it was like this makes sense. This is where I need to go, and I was angry. I was so angry at that time. That we had been attacked, and just the lives lost and everything else, and I had to do something. So it was taking a while to figure out what and how I was going to go into the military, and I ended up going into the fire service first, and that wasn't an easy. I gotta fly in here. That wasn't easy either, but the fire service was, man, just so great. And I loved being a firefighter, but I didn't stay there because the ultimate goal for me was honestly to get into the Army. And when I started to go in the Army, I did enlist first, but then I decided, because my dad told me, he's like, if you ever join, because he was in the Navy and he wasn't successful at that.
Yeah.
So he told me, he's like, if you're going to go into the service, be an officer. And that's the one piece of advice he had for me. He's like, be an officer. I'm like, okay. So that's what I was going to do. So I ended up going back to college to get my degree, just so I could become an officer in the Army.
Right.
And so it took a little while to finally get in as far as what my full-time career was going to be. But it was because of 9/11. That's why I went over. And then once I got in, I started out as an intelligence officer, and then I moved over to aviation. So I had two MOSs. I was a intel officer, and I became an aviator, and then I went back to intel, which is what I am now as a reservist. So I did that, and then it was all about, okay, how are we getting to combat? How are we gonna go over? And within aviation, I had the opportunity as an assault helicopter unit, and I had the opportunity with Task Force Odin, which was a fixed-wing C-12 aircraft with a bunch of sensors and stuff to help with identifying bad guys and helping out special forces.
UAV, essentially.
Don't you start with me. better than a UAV. Way better than a UAV. And those guys in the UAVs were over in Fort Hood, just sitting and chilling, doing their thing.
nothing.
We were actually in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But anyway, no.
How about this? A UAV on steroids. That's what
it was. It was the original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the C-12 guys were the ones that originally were carrying sensors and doing all that stuff during the Cold War before we had UAVs.
Right.
And UAVs are an important part of what every military has now. So that there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still need. I think right now we still.
Look, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you a little bit of shit somewhere along the way, John. You know.
I love it, but you still need them humans in the mix pretty good now.
Yes,
now I will say, I think aviators. This is, I know, kind of off topic here, but I think aviators are a dying breed.
I agree.
In the military, especially, because the weaponry system.
Well, everything's automated now, and
it's been crazy.
Yeah.
So,
let me ask you
yes,
this,
that's how I came over.
I love. Let me put it this way. So we're sitting here on September 12th, 2025. So we are 24 years removed from this event, and for posterity's sake, we just had a huge event on the 10th of September. Obviously, that the whole world is coming apart because of. And I think that now the things that are happening now kind of really are creating the same feelings that we had after 9/11, right? The anger and all of that, and we can be very willy-nilly when we're angry, and we can make really poor decisions when we're angry, right? But with you saw this thing for 9/11. We were all angry about 9/11, that experienced that, and we all wanted to do something for our country, and we were all patriotic. But you did something about it, and this wasn't a willy-nilly did something either, because you were like, I'm going to go into the military. Well, how do I do that? Let's become a firefighter first. Then I need to be an officer, so I don't just go in and enlist and become a grunt and become invaluable or whatever the reasons are. I know the reasons. I'm not going to say them here, but being an officer is obviously a much better place. So you go and get your degree.
High level of responsibility.
Absolutely.
I felt I could make better decisions and be able to affect the soldiers' lives and also affect the stage of combat, which I was part of,
right?
In a better way.
This was a very strategic entrance into the military, where this was the reason why I don't like what happened on 9/11, and there were a lot of people that just went straight to the recruiting office and just became, an E1, and
God bless them all that did.
Yeah, thank God for them. But that wasn't you. You were much more strategic about this. My question here, I know this is long-winded. There is a question here. The question is, did the initial feeling that made you want to join the military, how do you not allow that to erode over the time that it took for you to actually become a member of the military? Because it took years between the event and the time that you were an actual officer, right?
Yeah, it did. It was just inside me. I don't know how to. It was a calling.
Yeah.
For anybody who's ever experienced having a calling to do something, that's it. We see plenty of musicians that have callings to be musicians. People that join the priesthood. People that join, what am I trying to say? The organization that goes out to foreign lands to help people.
Yeah.
And like Amnesty International, all that kind of stuff. People have callings to do things, right? And that's what I know it was. I'll tell you what's sad now, though, is the calling's been met, and I'm now becoming a dinosaur within the Army, and there's not much. Now it's like, okay, well, there's no more of that for me, so now we're on to something different. But yeah, that calling was very important to me. It was, I'd always grow up, my grandfather and his brothers were on my mom's side, were in World War II, and actually my great uncle, he was very famous for, he was shot down in Germany, and his whole crew was massacred. And there's books and everything about this. But I think the book was the story of Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am, or something like that was the name of the logo on the side of it. It was a Liberty bomber. But yeah, I mean, and anybody who wants to know that story, look up Forey Brennanstool.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm interested.
Forrest Brennanstool.
I'm just very excited about that level of motivation for you to get through all of that.
It was a calling. And when I joined the fire service and I went into fire school and I was around other firefighters, it felt like home. And we were there to take care of each other. We were there to help others in their worst possible moment in life. And that, it just, I don't know, it spoke to me as something I needed to do. And yeah, after that with the military, it was, I'm helping these soldiers make their mission. I'm helping make sure they're taken care of. Their families are taken care of. And I'm helping, also, people don't understand this. When we go into a country as the United States Army, it isn't about let's just blow everything up.
Right.
It's about, okay, can we solve this diplomatically as military? Or do I have to force, and how many people can I get to surrender? And so we don't have to kill anybody or harm anybody. Yeah. It's not just about that. But I mean, we also do what we have to do. We meet force with force.
Absolutely. So, but your path to the military is just like anybody else's. It is hard. It is not an easy thing to just wake up and say, I'm going to be in the Army, and then it happens and it's easy. It's not an easy thing. No. It is meant to be hard to weed out the people that shouldn't make it, right? And that's the way it is. Being in the fire academy is hard. I've done fire academy stuff with the Navy. I know all of that. That is really hard stuff. Going to school is hard. And so I know when I was in boot camp, man, I would stare out that window at night, and they'd make the windows open. They wouldn't shut them or curtain them or anything, and the fences were just right there, and it would be so easy for me to just walk out the door in the middle of the night and just jump that fence, and it would have been so easy. And I mean, I think they did that shit on purpose just to make us lay in bed at night and ask ourselves why we're not doing that.
Yep, they do. I'll tell you, one of the hardest points in my training was I went to SEER school, and I had to do that for aviation. And there was a moment where I'm in my little cell. Yeah. And I'm standing, and I'm waiting for them to come by and check and make sure, I'm still there. And they're going to smack me around a little bit. Yep. And all I could think of was, I don't know, for some reason it hit me. I was like, what am I doing?
Why am I doing this? I ask myself that all the time. I
went into music and been sitting in Nashville, I mean, why am I doing this? Yep. And then that passed pretty quickly because, it was like, no, I know why I'm doing this.
It passed for me every night, man, every single night. Why am I doing this? There's reasons why, and only you know that within your heart, and I love that. Yeah, good stuff. We have John PayCheck here on the show for the first time ever. We're not really talking about music very much, which is what makes it. No, that's great. That's what makes a great story. That's why we podcast. But before we get into some fun stuff, let's talk about the record, More Days Behind. Okay. I love this record. I love the title of the record because I think about this all the time. I tell my wife all the time, I've got more days behind me than ahead of me. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, it truly is. Tell us about the record, man. I know every single one you're probably extremely proud of and all that, but this is a great record, man. What is it about this one that sets you apart from the other stuff you've done, do you think?
Well, I think it's also where it comes at in my own personal life. Yeah. And with the song, first one, the title song and everything, More Days Behind, it's about that whole period of where, I'm not talking about midlife crisis. I'm talking about you've gotten to this stage where that you don't have as many years in front of you as you do that have passed now because of nature. We're going to pass. Yep. And you don't know where you're going to end, but it's out there. And you need to be grateful for what you got. You need to be happy. And if you haven't focused on being happy, and I'm not talking about, going out and blowing a bunch of money and whatever. I'm talking about just truly being at peace.
Joyful, being joyful.
Yeah. If you're not doing that, you need to, because we're only here for so long, right? And for me, what makes me happy is my kids, my wife especially, and now my band. I love all my band members, and it's just trying to have a good time, be nice, and just live the rest of your life in a peaceful manner and way, I guess. I mean, it's almost to me it almost harkens back a little bit to like the Roman soldiers, where they'd come back from war and go back to being farmers in the fields, and it was because it was a way for them to regain a peace again after what that portion of their life. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just got a little bit of time behind us, and now we've got what we've got in front of us, and we're going to have fun with it, I guess.
Yeah, I love the record. It's 10 songs. It's got a little bit of everything on there, especially in the instrumentation department.
All my records are like that.
One of the things I learned as a kid in music class, I don't know why, and I don't know if this is what they did in every single music class when we were kids, but my teacher would always make us listen to songs and try to name as many instruments as we could find in that song. So when I was 7 or 8 years old, I was taught to try to pick out different instruments from songs.
Sure.
And so even today at 48 years old or whatever I am now, I'm still doing that. So and I love that about this record. You've chosen a lot of different vibes instrumentally in this record. And that comes from that 80s, 90s era, I feel, right?
It does. And now, at that time, I don't know if it was because labels were just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. With me, it's just a little bit of ADHD, maybe.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of different things. I love Texas swing, and you'll hear a couple Texas swing tunes. I love the straight 80s sound. I like the 90s, a little more crunch sound to it. I like all that stuff. I like cowboy rock. I like Chris LeDoux and things like that. So, and on this next album, there's going to be more of the cowboy rock thing because we're just having fun with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a lot of, and I like ballads and I like sad songs too, right? I'm kind of a depressing writer sometimes. So
that's the way it goes, bro. You know what I mean?
So
the song leads the way, man.
Yeah, man. But so my albums are all, you won't get like, I've heard the first song and now the rest of them sound the same. They'll all be very different.
Yeah, that's what makes a great record, especially if you're listening to it song to song consecutively like we used to do as kids, right? And I when a record comes out, I really try to listen to it in that fashion, at least to start with, because I feel like
that's just our era.
I think it is.
Yeah, because I do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's a lost art, man, and I think I really gravitate to artists that still kind of notice that lost art and try to put it out there like that. Good stuff, man. I really, really highly recommend More Days Behind. It's a great record. You guys are going to get a lot of different vibes from it. Not just country and western, like he just mentioned. You're going to get your cowboy rock and your Texas swing. Which, by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but my father-in-law, who's no longer with us, played with Bob Wills. He was a pedal steel player. Yeah.
Heck yeah. What was his name?
Red Leone was his name.
Red Leone.
Yeah.
I am familiar with who Red Leone was. Yes,
nice.
sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
He was a badass. He played music for like 71 years.
We were just in. We were at a golf tournament in Joe Diffie
right?
Classic. No, Joe Diffie Classic in Nashville.
Okay.
And me and my buddy were after the tournament sitting up and watching YouTube videos of Bob Wills band. Yep. And Leone was on one of the. I'm almost positive it was Leone.
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been.
Yep. Well, yeah. So, yeah, anyway.
Cool stuff. Yeah, and it's funny. One of my nephews, this is my father-in-law, my wife's father. But, yeah, one of her nephews is in, like, metalcore and all that. So, like, I always wonder if that's why, because, like, the whole family was traditional country, and then he comes along and he's metalcore.
As long as he's doing music. Man.
Yeah, that's right. Man, it's so cool to have John here. We're going to do our having fun segments, and then we'll let John be on his way. Again, I appreciate you so much for this. And it's, again, good to see you instead of seeing you through all that snow.
It was all fuzzy last time.
But yeah, we made it work, man. So these are called just regular having fun segments, and we use these for TikToks and stuff. And I just started allowing the artists to choose some of these as well, which actually has been a lot of fun. First one is called Did You Know? Can you tell us something your fans may not know about you?
Ooh, something they may not know about me. Well, one thing they may not know is I was in the service, like I said, but I went to the reserves pretty early on, and that's because I became a defense intelligence officer for the DIA
Wow.
here in Washington, D.C. I did that for 13 years.
Wow.
So I was a spook for a little while.
Wow.
Did all that kind of stuff, and did a lot for the nation, which another service thing I did, I guess. But yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right, now you get to choose the segment. So choose either fun or not fun.
Oh, let's go with fun.
All right, so what are some of your hobbies outside of music?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you, I love rodeo. I am a huge rodeo fan, right? So I watch a lot of old rodeo and stuff like that. I like going to rodeos. I go to NFR every year, to see the national finals and all that kind of stuff. I would say some of my like other hobbies. I work so much because music takes up a lot of time, but I love playing. I love hanging out with my kids. But man, I'm trying to think of like what are my as a parent, you know how that goes. It's like, wait, what are my hobbies?
Yeah.
Here we go. I collect pop culture stuff.
Oh.
And what I mean by that is I've got a room upstairs that it's a big room that has over just a ton of artifacts and stuff from like Ghostbusters,
Cool.
Goonies,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And comic books, I got comic books that I like too, and old Western Roy Rogers stuff.
That's what's up.
Mixed in with the other part of that at the end of the room, because it's from that time and era. I got a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons and
Cool.
board games and all that. So yeah, I like pop culture stuff, and I go to Comic Cons every once in a while. It's kind of nerdy, but that's what I do.
I would not have seen that from you. That's awesome. That's a good answer. All right, next segment. Choose either Mount Rushmore or one artist.
Oh, geez. I could be selfish and say Dad, but
No. Choose one of those. Those are the two segments. One is called Mount Rushmore. One is called one artist.
Mount Rushmore or one artist. Shoot, I guess we'll just go with Mount Rushmore since I started talking.
All right, so Mount Rushmore is who is on your Mount Rushmore of country artists, like the four best country artists that you think.
Okay, well, George Jones is definitely there. I gotta put Dad, because I think he was an amazing writer. If I getting away from the fact that I'm related to him,
Yeah, he
amazing
was.
writer, very underrated as a vocalist.
Very.
I remember, going at the Opry, and everybody would come out. They didn't do this for very few artists. People would do this. They'd all come out from the back to the wings and watch Dad sing old violin.
Yep.
So that says a lot, right? So he was respected by other artists, but I would have to say George Jones, my dad, Johnny PayCheck, man, Bob Wills has got to be on there, and then the last one. Boy, for me, it's either gonna, and this is gonna sound terrible, but it's either gonna be George Strait or it's gonna be Willie Nelson.
Yeah, it's so hard to put four, man.
There's
It
just too
truly
many
is.
of them.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
We're going to add an extra face.
Yeah, absolutely. We need a bigger mountain.
Yeah.
So next segment, choose one of these two. You can either choose what the heck or choose impactful.
What the heck?
All right, so what the heck is 5 rapid-fire questions. I'm just going to pick randomly from a list of 50 that I have.
Okay.
And the whole gist of this is you have to tell me the first thing that hits your head. So don't change your answer. All right?
Okay.
Number 1, which superpower do you wish you had?
Flying.
Number 2, what is your weirdest talent?
My weirdest talent? Impressions.
All right, number 3, if you could spend 1 hour with anyone from the past, who would it be and what would you talk about?
George Washington.
And what are you talking about?
And I would talk about his thoughts on military strategy and where the country is now.
Wow,
compared to what he thought.
Man, that would be great. All right, number 4. This might be tough because I'm assuming you're married, right?
I am.
All right, so when dating someone new, what do you think is the appropriate amount of time before pooping in front of that person?
I am a modest person in that sense, and I would with dating them. I don't know if there's ever a time when dating them. I'd say once you're married, even then,
it's part of the contract.
Even then, I don't. Yeah, hell, me and my wife don't even. Yeah, no. And we're soldiers. We're both soldiers,
Both
man.
soldiers, and you're not
Yeah.
doing it. Oh my
So, I mean,
gosh.
we've been out in the field together with a unit, and so I mean, technically we have dug the cat hole and done all that, but I mean, still not in front of you. No.
That's great. All right, last one, number 5. All right, so follow along with me. If a penguin walked into your room right now wearing a sombrero, why is he there and what is he doing?
Hey, coming here wearing a sombrero. He's coming here to invite me to the next. There's a fiesta down the road, and we're gonna have an early Cinco de Mayo. And he's here because he got here because he heard about the party, and he'd rather be here where it's warmer than Antarctica.
Yeah, he's getting here
not Antarctica.
really early. I got you.
Yeah,
All right, that was What the Heck. You see why we call it What the Heck.
I like it.
All right, next one. Choose either bucket list or fly on the wall.
Bucket list. Heck yeah.
All right, so what's on your bucket list of things you haven't done yet?
There's a lot of things, obviously, in music the career that I would like to do, and I want to do. One, I want to play at NFR, and then two, I definitely want to tour in Japan.
Wow,
Those are big things in my bucket list for the career.
That would be badass.
Yeah, and I'm working real hard on both of those. So as far as my bucket list, otherwise, there are some places I want to travel with my wife. I definitely want to go to Greece. I haven't done that. I've been to a lot of places in the world.
Yeah,
I'd like to do that kind of thing. I also really want to make part of my bucket list is make sure that my kids and everybody are secure before I move on. But and that's like it's all like tasks is what I'm talking about, I guess. Yep. But yes, travel to Greece. Wouldn't mind. I want to start. I don't know if I will get to it, but I really do. I want to start a foundation to be able to help young artists trying to get into the music business, with basically affording them all the contacts they need without fearing that they're getting into a mess. Right.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
That's one thing that I really would like, and I don't have my head totally wrapped around it. I've thought about it for years. Don't have it totally wrapped around it yet, but yeah, that's something I want to do. And another bucket list career thing is starting a festival that honors Dad every year.
Yeah. Man, I love the idea for a foundation. Who better than somebody who not only was born into the business, but, I mean, there's not going to be too many people who know more about the rights and wrongs of the music business than Johnny PayCheck's son, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
All right, next segment, choose either biggest lesson or moment of gravity.
Biggest lesson or moment of gravity? Let's go moment of gravity.
All right, I think I know what the answer is going to be to this, but we'll see. So the
Okay.
moment of gravity is kind of a reflective question where you look back and you can kind of see that one moment in history in your life that is directly responsible for getting you on the path that led you to where you are now. Can you see what that is?
Oh man, so to where I am right now, music,
Yes.
let's say.
Well, in your life,
just
life in general, yeah.
There's a lot of moments, but as far as like the biggest one, it's gonna be. Honestly, everything changed after 9/11 for me.
Yeah.
That's a big one. When my dad passed, that's another big moment in my life that kind of pushed me as far as making sure that I was going to go that military route as well, because it rung in my head, that life isn't forever, and things do end. So if we're going to do something, we need to do it. That has stuck with me forever now, and it's the same reason why I'm doing the music. I'm not going to live forever. I want to get these things in. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want to be sitting there on my porch when I'm 70
Regretting.
going, boy, I really wish I would have X, Y, Z.
Yep.
So I'm not letting that happen.
Yep. I love that. And I think we all. I think maybe like 40 years old is maybe when you start thinking in those terms, right? I think of that every single day. Like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do today to extend my footprint?
Mhm.
And make sure that somebody remembers me beyond just the next generation, right? Like,
Yeah.
you want to be remembered for generations, not just one. And that's important. But anyway, next one's called Grateful. What are the 3 things you think you are the most grateful for?
Number one is I'm most grateful for my wife. 100% been there for me. Helped get me out of some bad positions in my head when I got back from Afghanistan. And every morning, every day, I tell that woman how much I love her and how happy I am that she's my wife. And I really do every friggin' day. And it's an honest opinion or piece of me.
Yeah.
Right. 2, you said 3?
Yep.
The next one will be my kids. 100%. I'm so grateful for my children. They are the best thing I've ever done in my life, and it will be the best thing I've ever done in my life. Nothing I do will compare to being a dad.
Mhm.
And I honestly, I feel bad for my own dad because he didn't get to some of the things I've been able to do.
You didn't
and
get
make
to experience that, yeah.
Yeah, and made sure I was here to do. So my wife, my children, and then honestly, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunities I've had. I've been able to serve. I've been able to be successful at things I've done. I'm grateful, for the friends I've had that have helped me get to where I am now. Yeah, that would pretty much do it.
I love it. All right, last segment. Again, I thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Last one is called Who Do You Think You Are? So who is John PayCheck?
Who is John PayCheck? Boy, that's some introspective piece there. John PayCheck is honestly, just another human being, just trying to get by and be happy and take care of his family like everyone else. That's one thing you always used to say in the military too. I was like, hey, I get it. We're in a foreign land. We are doing what we have to do, but everybody here is the same. It's the same as us. I don't care who you are, what you believe. They're all the same. We all just want to take care of our families. We want to be able to go home at night and have a meal. We want those basic necessities to be met. And everybody really wants to be happy in one way, whatever that means. They want to be happy, and that's it. So I mean, I'm the same in that instance. I don't think I'm much different than anybody else, but I mean, I'm funny. I got some humor to me. I got I got a lot of brashness in how I talk and act, but I always apologize. And I follow a little bit of a cowboy code of ethics in my life and try to do unto others, as best I can, and is how I'd want to be treated. It's not to say I'm a pushover. I've got enough. I got enough years and time in me. I got that old man strength too, right? We're not there yet, old man strength yet, but we're coming.
It's coming close. Yeah,
it is.
It's
So,
rapidly approaching, John.
Yeah, and I don't like it, but
No,
it
me
is what it
either.
is. I know I can't defeat it, so
No.
it's coming. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm anything special. I guess I'm just same as everybody else, just doing what I do.
It's hard to
And I'm
talk
lucky.
about yourself, isn't
I'm
it?
extremely lucky.
Yeah.
I made it through Afghanistan. I made it through the fire service. I made it through flying helicopters and airplanes, and I'm extremely lucky for what I have and who I am.
I'm extremely lucky to have gotten this time to talk to you. That's called a perfect segue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you guys how you can follow along with John, and I hope you guys will do it. It's johnpaycheck.com. We're going to put that in the description down below. The spelling is right there on your screen, as you can
Capital
see.
C.
Yeah, capital C on that. By God. I'm also going to tell you guys where you can follow along on your favorite platform, whatever that may be. His YouTube is John PayCheck. His Instagram is John_PayCheck. Facebook is The John PayCheck. Let's see here. Twitter is A Paycheck Life. Or, I'm sorry, X. It's called X now.
Yeah, X
Look,
now,
it's
whatever.
always going to be Twitter. I don't care.
Exactly.
John, if somebody said to you, what is the best way for me to support you as a fan, what would you tell them?
Boy, I tell you, follow on my platforms. That's a big one. And then come to a show. Go out, look at my bands in town, subscribe to that because it'll inform you when I'm going to be near you. And yeah, that's the biggest thing is like come out to shows and follow me on my platforms. Listen on Spotify. Follow me on that. That stuff is important because venues will look at it, labels look at it, everybody looks at it, and that's what it is nowadays. So
And
that's how you can support me.
this episode will be out October 4th, and he is going to be in Texas following that. So I'm going to let you guys know where you can come see him, because we have lots of listeners and viewers in the Texas area. Obviously, that's where we are. So Do-Si-Do Big Barn in the Woodlands on October 15th, which is a dope Wednesday show, guys. A Wednesday show. So no excuses. Y'all go see that.
Yeah, that's the awards show.
Okay.
Texas CMA Awards. So that is, I'm only singing 2 songs there.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, so it's the
Yeah.
Country Music Association of Texas
Yep.
award show. So y'all go to that. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. There'll be a
The
lot of people.
following night, on Thursday the 16th, you'll be in Valley View, Texas, at the Old Timer Entertainment and Music Hall.
Yep.
In that Saturday on the 18th, you'll be in Bandera, Texas, at the 11th Street Cowboy Bar. Shooters, well, that'll be North Carolina. Then you're moving over to the Carolinas and Ohio and the rest of the country. So
Yep.
you guys do have 2 different Texas shows coming up, the 16th and the 18th, outside of the award show. So
Yep.
y'all go
And we're in
see that
Texas a lot.
stuff. Yeah, y'all go see it. John, thank you for doing this, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Chris. Man, I love talking to you, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
everybody,
same.
this is Wade Jennings, and thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.